Do we have like I didn't think through like an introduction on like, is there something I should say? I'll just start
say
talking.
hey.
I'll just say
Hey, what's good?
I'll just start talking. Hello and welcome to the Tundra podcast. We don't have a cool name for that. It's just the Tundra podcast, at least for now. We have the band Tundra here. I don't know how often we're going to do this podcast. We are going to do this semi-often. We want to give you guys some stories about the band, us as musicians, talk about our songs so you can get the inside scoops and all that stuff. Let's go around in a circle and introduce ourselves real quick. Just say, hi, how's it going? Who is this over here? How are you doing?
Hi, my name's Rod, and I like to party.
Wait, that's not how this goes.
My name is Dave, and I like to party.
Dave, what did I just say? I party. No, I'm Lewis.
No one else here party.
Hey, I'm talking here. I'm Lewis. I play the drums.
I'm Morgan, and I sing.
I'm Patrick, and I play guitar.
I'm Steven, I play bass.
And we are Tundra. We will do this semi-often so that you guys can get inside looks at our music, our band, and what we got going on behind the scenes, all that good stuff. If you would like to see any of our episodes early and any of our other content we're doing on YouTube early and behind the scenes posts on recording, practice, shows coming up, all that stuff, you can also head on to our Patreon. I haven't set it up as of the recording of this video, so there's a URL here at the bottom of the screen that you can go to, the link in the description. If you would like to support the band, that's the best way to do it. And then you will also get heads up on anything we got going on for the band and get to see stuff early, which seems pretty cool if you ask me.
Yeah, it's a bundle of joy.
He's a great talker. So I figured this first episode should just be like a meet the band kind of thing. So let's go around, and we already said who you are and what you play, but maybe give a little bit of extra background as to how you joined the band, maybe what your musical background is, like what other instruments do you play, how long have you played them, all that. Let's just go in a circle, I guess. Mr. Lewis.
I probably have the most interesting story.
You do have an
here.
interesting story.
I started out on guitar when I joined the band back in it's like September 2020.
That sounds right.
You invited me, and you're like, hey, I got these guys, want to make a band together. We need another guitarist. I'm like, all right, I'll head on down there. And played guitar about a couple years with you guys, almost a few years actually, I think.
You were our guitar player for, oh gosh, I can't even remember when that would have been. Probably a year and a half.
2020 was the first show, right?
The first show was in 2020.
And then I didn't join the band until a year later. You were still playing guitar at that time.
Yeah.
Wasn't
it probably January of the next year? Was it January of the next year? So you spent a year and a half as our guitar player, and then you moved to drums.
Yeah, then I needed to play drums, so I'm like, all right, I'll switch to drums. So now I play the drums.
And I knew that was a big ask for you. So our original drummer, Drew, he just, no hard feelings, just life happens and things happen and you can't always keep up with everything. So I remember we were like, all right, it would be way easier we knew you played drums. I had seen you play drums because you played in an old band that I don't remember what it's called. But I knew you played drums. So I was like, all right, it would be way easier for us to find a new guitar player than it would be for us to find a new drummer. There's just not that many drummers. So I remember floating to you like, hey, do you want to like start over knowing how to play all of our songs? And was there any?
Oh my gosh, yes, I want to do that.
Was there any concern on your part? Were you excited about it, or was it a little daunting?
Carrying the torch that Drew carried, because I mean the parts he wrote. Obviously, I don't play a lot of the parts he wrote because they're hard. But I try to keep a lot of the parts that I thought like really stuck with the songs and like keep it true to what he did. I mean, I was excited to take it on mostly because I love playing drums in general.
Do you prefer it over guitar? Or
oh yeah, I'm way more comfortable behind drums than on guitar. I like both, but
it's kind of interesting how that worked out. So yeah, I'm Morgan. I do the screamy stuff. I could have kind of done anything in the band as we were, because I kind of wrote it. I don't know if this is something I care to get into in this episode, but Tundra was kind of not meant to be anything, and it just accidentally became something because there were enough people who were interested in it. And I kind of went into it being like more of just like a songwriter. Like I was more interested in being a guitar player. Like I actually spent like a decent amount of time trying to find a new vocalist for the band because I just wanted to play riffs and breakdowns. And that didn't work out. So there was one show, the first show that you were on drums. I played guitar because we still hadn't found a new guitar player.
I remember that.
It worked out pretty well.
I thought it was great.
so.
I thought it was a great show. That show's on YouTube. You can go check it out on our YouTube channel. But I thought it turned out fine. So I could have done that, and God forbid we ever lose Patrick over here. We could restart discussions of, well, maybe I just play guitar and we find a new vocalist. So, but that's where I'm at. I do like most of the songwriting still and in that. Hopefully we make it more collaborative going into the next record. But speaking of Patrick, how's it going, Patrick?
Oh, it's going good.
So how long have you been playing guitar, and do you remember like what it was like joining Tundra?
I've been playing guitar since I was 15. I'm 32 now.
I always forget how old you are.
Yeah,
You're way older than us.
I've been playing music for 28 years. So it's kind of just nuts. But how I initially joined the band, I remember I had known of you because when I was a lifeguard at the YMCA, I knew of your wife there when she was younger. And I was scrolling through Facebook one day, and I was actually at work, and I saw that you guys were looking for a new guitarist. And I remember in that moment, I was like, well, why don't I give that a try? I always loved metal and been playing music for a long time. And so,
were you guys, because you guys go to the same church now, was that true then, or had you guys not really known each other yet?
We had known of each other. We hadn't gone to the same church, I don't think, at that moment. But yeah.
I didn't know that.
And this is proof of a really, really small world. Patrick is Morgan and I. To those who don't know, Morgan and I are brothers.
What?
We are nothing alike. But Patrick is our third cousin, and we didn't know until
6 months after I joined.
I'm just
Small
here.
world. Yeah, and then there's Lewis.
we're gonna adoption pending. Okay.
All right, cool. And then Steven, how long have you been playing the bass? Do you play anything else?
Then
how'd you join the band?
I don't really play anything.
And what's your favorite color?
My favorite color is blue. I bought my first bass about 5 years ago as of now. You asked me to play for Tundra roughly a year after that. And you practically begged me to. You're like, join my band. And I was like, I don't know if I want to get into that. Just like, I don't really listen to this kind of music, honestly. So I was like, I don't know if I'm really like into it. And you practically begged me to join the band. And I was like, okay, fine. And so I did. And here I remain.
I kind of forgot that you were like such a noob at the bass when you had joined. Like you had only been playing for a year.
I've been playing for like a year. I wasn't that good. I'm still not that good.
Well, to be fair, you just have to chug a lot, so it's not that hard. But yeah, like when I was so desperate to get you to join the band because we had a mini tour already scheduled, and our bass player at the time, Neo. We should get Neo on the podcast. I'm sure he would say so many things I would have to cut out. So many
we would have to edit out a lot of things.
Yeah. But he had.
We love you, Neo.
He said that he was only available to play the first show of the mini tour, and then like he had other things going on. So I was like, okay, we need to find someone else to cover for those shows. And so I begged and pleaded for Steven to do it. Also, just because like brotherly bonding time, it was fun, right, Steven? But I mean, he obviously didn't hate it because he's still here all these years later. But yeah, it kind of worked out, and then just over the next few weeks, it kind of just made more sense for Steven to stay in the band, and Neo kind of moved on. But yeah, that's kind of how you joined the band. All right, cool. What do I have here on my notes? I can't actually read.
I keep telling you, you need to get your eyes checked, Morgan.
We kind of already asked this. What other background? What is your background in music? So, Lewis, you already you said that you play drums and guitar. Do you know how to play anything else?
Well, I started out on cello in 5th grade.
That's right.
Dude, you should bring that back.
I still have it.
Should go totally skillet mode and just like have them like open up our show on the cello.
Goodness.
That would be so cool.
I don't know. That's a lot.
Yeah,
That's
buddy.
a lot. But I mean, I played cello for like 5 years straight, and I've always kind of known how to play drums throughout my life because we've had a drum kit since I was a baby. But I never really took it seriously until I started playing cello. So then eventually I just switched over to drums and guitar kind of at the same time at like 7th or 8th grade. And I just stuck with it.
Right on. So when we were kids, like elementary school, our parents kind of forced us to learn an instrument, and so we all just kind of settled on piano.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a few years of piano under my belt, but I didn't really stick with it. I didn't take it very seriously, but I retained enough of it that when I got to like middle school and I actually started learning instruments, I had retained enough of it that I was able to be like, oh yeah, that's scales and chords, and like that makes sense to me. So that made it easier. In middle school learned bass, and then I think my freshman year in high school I started learning guitar.
I did not retain anything, so I basically had to start fresh when I started playing bass.
Oh no. But yeah, and I still don't. I've kind of relearned a little bit of piano, just enough that I can like use it as a writing tool for the band, and then like I've played piano a few times at my church, but that's about it. Other than that, I don't really know anything. And I know it's funny that I do like the screamy stuff for the band, but like I actually went to college on a choir scholarship, so I actually can do real singing. I just when you go to school for something, it kind of takes the fun out of it. So like that's actually why Steven sings in the band now. It's not that I can't, except
That's
for
why?
The main reason, other than Revelation, which a lot of you haven't heard yet as of the viewing of this video. It's on the new record. That song's actually a little bit like if I had to sing that. There's actually one show that we played where you were like, "Yeah, I'm still kind of sick. I don't think I can do it." And I was like, "I'll sing it. I'll sing it." And I was like, "I'm never doing this again." If you ever can't do it, so your voice is a little bit higher than mine, but the main thing is like college actually took the fun out of singing for me. Like I actually just don't love doing singing anymore.
Dang. So now you scream.
I like
just yell a lot.
singing. I don't like choir singing.
Yeah.
Like getting up and performing. So, like I don't really like that so much.
Well, I was in a jazz group in college. I loved that. That was really fun. But like the vocal lessons that we had to take, where it was like Italian solo singing, like that specifically kind of took the fun out of singing for me.
That's fair.
But Pat, what about
It's not
you?
fair
Do you
for
know
me.
how to play anything other than the guitar? I guess we got to see a little bit of it today.
Yeah, I play 5 instruments, but I started with piano when I was 5. And then in 4th grade, they have the schools come in, and I started violin then. And I actually did really well with the violin, but I kind of had the same experience you did. I went to Washburn for music ed, and I couldn't pass music theory to save my life, so they kind of had to kick me out. And
that's why you're in a metal band.
Yeah, and but in 4th grade is when I started violin, and then guitar was around kind of my sophomore year of high school, I think when I was 15, and then bass kind of goes along with it. I wouldn't call myself a big bass player, nor really a big drummer. I mean, I can play the drums, but nothing like Lewis. He blows me away.
Oh, please.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah. So.
What about you, Steven? I know that we've kind of touched on the piano thing, but like you didn't really do anything musically in between that and bass, right?
No, I didn't. Well, I did choir in high school because I was pressured into it. I had a couple of guys that were like, "You should do choir," and I was like, I don't know, I can't really sing, because I was going through puberty, so my voice wasn't exactly. But I ended up joining, and like I thought it was all right, and it did help me learn vocally, and then going on, same thing with Morgan. I ended up getting a choir scholarship as well for community college. So I kind of did that for a couple semesters too. But outside of that, instrumentally, no, it's just been bass since about 2020 is when I bought my first bass.
Right on. So Stephen already kind of touched a little bit on. He's not really into the Tundra style of music. I don't really know what we are. We're like in this awkward in between of like we're kind of a deathcore band, but we're a little too melodic, so the deathcore people would laugh at us. But then like we're not quite a metalcore band either, so we're in this awkward in between of metalcore, deathcore. But Stephen already kind of hinted at that he doesn't really listen to this. So I want to know from you guys what do you guys listen to, and then. I have all my notes here. Is there anything interesting about your Spotify Wrapped? Like, was there anything in your Spotify Wrapped that you're like, oh, that's so me? But Lewis, what kind of stuff do you listen to?
Megan Thee Stallion was top 3.
Wait, really?
Of my Spotify Wrapped. Yeah, I listen to a lot of rap, believe it or not. I mean, it's probably 50-50 heavy metal, rap. And there's like some soft instrumental type stuff I listen to. I really listen to everything. But if I had to pick like 2 genres, it'd be like rap and heavy metal.
Right on.
And heavy metal is just like all the subgenres, I'm not like an elitist, like, oh, you have to be hardcore. You like.
Well, you're a big Gojira fan, right? Like, are they one of your favorites?
They're definitely. I'm definitely a huge Gojira fan. Probably more than I would care to admit. But yeah, you know, we all have our niches.
So I am definitely a metal guy. I started this band because I like this style of music, but I listen to metal less than I used to, and when I do, it's one of 2 things. It's usually like the really technical metalcore stuff that was popular in like the early 2010s. So like August Burns Red, I the Breather, Texas in July, like a lot of those kind of bands. Or it's the like the super poppy stuff that's like current, like I Prevail, Memphis Mayfire. I like a lot of
Poser. I'm kidding.
Hey, you know what? A good song's a good song, but I do still get like these kicks a few times a year where I gotta get some deathcore. So like even on my Spotify Wrapped, I had a few Impending Doom songs on there, and my deathcore playlist got a decent amount of play this last year. The one thing that was surprising on my Spotify Wrapped was there was a lot of country on there. I've always kind of been like a country hater, but Post Malone's new album was really good. I really like Post Malone. I don't think he could write a bad song. And I actually really liked the country stuff. It was actually really good. And then there's a new band that I found called Lakeview, who are like instrumentally.
Sounds country.
Yeah, they're like country rock. Like instrumentally, they have like breakdowns and guitar solos and stuff. But then like it's country music. Like it's like my truck and my girl, and it's like chug 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 chug. Whoa! It's kind of awesome. But there's a lot of that in my Spotify Wrapped. But yeah, and then I listen to a lot of emo sad girl music. Like Sasha Alex Sloan and the stuff like that. So, what about you, Pat? What kind of stuff do you listen to?
Well, I don't use Spotify very much. So I don't even know what my Wrapped was. I'm more of a Apple Music kind of guy.
Well, don't they have something similar?
I think they do, but I haven't looked at it.
Oh, okay.
But,
well, what kind of stuff do you listen to?
Let's see. I'm big metal. I mean, obviously, just metal has been a huge thing for me in my life, and I mean, if I really had to say what I really listen to almost everything. Like, I like country music. I like kind of that outlaw kind of country. And
what a loser.
Yeah. I really like a lot of the praise and worship stuff too. I like stuff that has really good hooks in the music and can just make you feel stuff that you don't feel sometimes. I don't know. I really like all kinds of music. I even listen to violin concertos. So
yeah, I mean, I think that's perfectly valid. I mean, that was kind of my point in like, oh, I listen to a little bit of everything. And that's like the lamest answer on like, what do you listen to? But like a good song's a good song. If that's a deathcore song, great. If it's a rap song, I actually really don't listen to that much rap. But you know, like the point stands is like a good song's a good song. I don't really care about the genre that much. But nasty riffs, I can get down with that. What about you, Steven? What kind of stuff do you listen to?
I mostly listen to rock and alternative metal. I mean, I'm wearing a Starset shirt. I like Starset a lot. Red, they're one of my favorites. My all-time favorite band is Thousand Foot Crutch. Just a lot of rock. So I don't really listen to heavier stuff, especially like what we actually play. Like I don't listen to that kind of music really.
Favorite color's blue. Favorite band is red.
No, I said my favorite band, Southville Crudge.
Oh, well, never mind.
Red is my second favorite band.
Joke didn't land.
But you actually like some metal, right? Like I remember you had like an I Prevail kick. I know they're like kind of like poser metalcore or whatever, but like I mean,
I like a good handful of I Prevail songs. They're
I feel like they're not that far of a stretch, like musically. Like yeah, they're heavier than bands like Starset, but I feel like sonically, as far as like what's going on musically, they're not that different.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, I like a handful of their songs. Yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
Cool. Well, as unless a bunch of you join in on Patreon or like you guys blow up our record that's coming out April 4th. I should have opened the podcast with that. Our record's coming out April 4th. Pre-order up now. Unless you guys make that blow up. The band is not our day job. So what do you guys do normally? Like what do you do?
Sleep.
Like your day job is you sleep?
Yes.
Wow.
No. I just started at Target Distribution Center. But I have been studying French because I want to be a translator.
Oh, that would actually be really cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Work remotely, get paid more.
French is also just a cool language. Like if you have to learn a new language, French is a cool one.
It's pretty cool. I can't speak it like off the top of my head yet, whatever I'm thinking, but if I like see some text or I hear someone talking, I can kind of
pick up parts
make out like the keywords and whatnot.
So I am a video editor full time. I work for MTG Goldfish, which is a Magic the Gathering YouTube channel. I am a full time video editor for them, and it's kind of a dream job if I'm being honest. I love Magic the Gathering. I think it's the best game of all time, and so I get to hang out with really cool guys. One of the bigger YouTube channels for Magic, and we go to cons together and hang out, and then I work from home editing videos about my favorite game. So it's kind of a dream job. What about you, Pat? What do you do?
I work at the local hospital here in Topeka. I guess I would categorize myself as a CNA, and they have me as a patient safety attendant. So I sit with a lot of people with a lot of mental illness and drug issues, and it can get pretty stressful around there. But I really enjoy helping people and caring for them. So it really is my dream job in a lot of ways. So.
Oh, Pat, you're such a great guy. What about you, Steven?
I'm gonna cry.
I work at an eye doctor for kids.
That sounds really fun.
It honestly is. Most of the time, like it is actually.
You get to watch a bunch of Bluey.
So at my job, they have a TV out there, and they actually usually turn on Nickelodeon, which in the morning will only play Paw Patrol. And then sometimes we'll change the channel to Disney, which will play Bluey. But
no, Bluey's actually like S tier. Like great job.
I would rather
I've
watch
heard good
Bluey than
things.
Paw Patrol.
Well, is that like your dream job? Like, are you happy doing that?
I'm
or-
satisfied doing it. I don't know if I see myself doing it like in the long run, but I do like it, and like I definitely don't dread going into work every day like I have in previous jobs. It is fulfilling at times, and it is fun. Sometimes weird and gross because kids can be gross, but for the most part, it's pretty funny. Sometimes kids say funny things though. So.
Yeah.
But Dr. Monroe has a nice ring to it.
I'm not a doctor. That's not what I said. I said I work
doctor.
at an eye
You never
doctor.
know.
All right, last question I had on the note sheet is what else do you guys do for fun? I assume that all of us really enjoy music. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be in this band doing this. And some of us have been in other bands before, too. What else do you guys do for fun, though, outside of music?
That's a good question.
We'll come back to Lewis.
I like to build computers. I like to go on nature walks, believe it or not. I go on a lot of walks out in nature.
Got to keep your legs in shape for all the double bass.
Yeah. It's more for my brain than it is anything else, because I lose my mind. So I'm like, okay, go on a walk for like.
Well, it's good for your health too, like physical.
Well, yeah.
So
It's all intertwined though. Like if you take care of your brain, that'll make it easier to take care of your body. If you take care of your body, it's going to be easier for you to take care of your mind. It's all intertwined.
Yeah, I like walking.
It sounds kind of lame when you say it like that. I like walking.
I'm going to make that a clip, and that's like the one advertisement for the podcast. Yeah, I like walking. So I already talked about Magic the Gathering. I think it's the greatest game of all time. I really like it in a lot of different ways. I like a lot of the 1v1 competitive stuff. I like the multiplayer, more casual formats. That's probably the main thing. I have 2 kids, so they take up a lot of my time. But I actually really enjoy being a dad. I think it's a lot of fun. Like Steven's right. Kids do say really funny, stupid things, and that keeps you entertained. And so it's fun just to like hang out with the tiny people you created. Yeah. So that I guess that takes up most of my time. What about you, Patrick? What else do you do for fun?
I got to think about it.
You've had so many minutes to think about it.
I know.
All right, Steven, what else do you do for fun?
Okay.
He's like, walking,
living.
I made it easy for myself. Like I walk,
eating. So my wife and I are very involved in our church. My wife is the worship leader for our church. And so we tend to get pretty involved with that and other outreaches to the community and stuff like that with doing worship and I also play bass for our worship team as well. I play video games, you know. It's not a thrilling answer, but I do.
Well, I mean, yeah, but a lot of people play video games, but then that's something that none of the 3 of us mentioned. So, like, you could say
There you go.
I play a lot of different kinds of video games. Lately, I've just been playing Pokemon, honestly.
Which one?
Brilliant Diamond, which is the remake of Pokemon Diamond.
Nice.
So
I've only
that's
played
in a region.
Yeah.
I've only played the Black Edition on the DS. Or
See,
Black
this may
version
be
or something.
controversial for me to say, but the black and white games are probably my least favorite of all the Pokemon games. For some reason, the Pokemon community really like those games, and it's the ugliest generation of Pokemon, and I will die saying
Is that the one with the ice cream cone?
Yeah.
I liked it because it was the only one I had played, so I didn't really.
I mean, I still think it's
reference.
fun because
Pokemon's
it is
just fun.
Yeah, it is Pokemon. Like it's still fun. Like it's still a good game, but like it's just in regards to like the animation for the sprites and the overall designs of the Pokemon themselves. It's like, I mean, some of them are really cool and some of them are pretty mid, but overall, like it's just my least favorite. But I like the Center region, so like Black or Platinum specifically is my favorite Pokemon game.
You also were, I don't know if you still are, but you were also into Magic and D&D, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So those who don't know, Morgan has a Magic the Gathering YouTube channel where a group of us will every once in a while we'll get together and play a game of Commander and upload videos. And I think because of the grind that we were at for so long for trying to put out content and trying to make it like a full-time gig, it really drained me. And I just don't really care for Magic Gathering as much as I used to. And I know you don't like hearing that because you love the game still. And I've just kind of got burnt out on it. I wouldn't say, I don't think it's a bad game by any means. And I'm not saying that maybe once a blue moon, like I'm like, yeah, you know, like I wouldn't mind getting a game in. But for the most part, it's like, it just doesn't bring joy / fulfill me the same way that it did. And like, and I know you still, you still gather weekly playing with everybody. And I usually don't, just because there's just other things I'd rather do in my life. And
Well,
that's
what
not
about
disrespect.
Dungeons and Dragons though?
I really like D&D. I've gotten into it within, was it 2020? Yeah, 2023 was when I kind of started like playing. Well, no. The first time we started playing
Your timeline's all messed up.
Okay. I really
played
started
a few times in college.
Yeah, we played a few times in college. That was fun. And so then I ended up started playing for a little bit. And I've been taking a break from it for a little bit because I've been wanting to focus on doing a campaign with our family. And so I would be DMing for that. And it's a lot to think about being a DM compared to a player.
Because this will be your first time DMing, right?
Correct. And I love playing. Like it's so fun getting to play D&D and just go into your own little world, and you act as this character that like you would never ever imagine to be, and it's just a lot of fun.
Sick.
Well, I think that's gonna.
We're gonna talk about Pat.
Oh yeah, we
Oh.
I
skip
forgot we
over
said
that.
we were gonna.
I
Come back to
remember.
that.
Well, me and Steven go to the same church, and I lead worship, play guitar
Yeah.
at the church, and I mean, really, I like to tinker with audio equipment. Like our church is somewhat heavily relying on me on that stuff sometimes, even though I don't think I'm the biggest expert on that sometimes, but it's nice to be appreciated and hear my feedback on that stuff. So, but I like amplifiers and all that stuff. So, yep.
We're all nerds. We talked about like Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, D&D.
Blue and red.
Just a couple guys, just some
Right.
chill dudes, just chill guy. Well, I think that's going to do it for this first episode of the Tundra podcast. If you have a better name for the podcast, let us know in the comments, because Tundra podcast is like, yeah, I know what that is, but it's a terrible name. It's very boring. If you would like to see episodes early, don't forget to check out our Patreon. You're going to get to see a ton of stuff early there, and it's the best way to support the band. And then again, I don't know how often we're going to do these episodes, but we're for sure going to have episodes talking about our songs, talking about our record when it comes out. I'm sure we'll have some fun stories to tell along the way. So you can expect these at a somewhat regular basis. I would say like, maybe like one a month, something like that. We'll have plenty of things to talk about. So, we'll see you guys later. Oh, and if you're new to the YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe. So even if you're not on Patreon, you still get to see our stuff as it's coming out. And, okay, everyone say bye on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Bye.
Bye.
Wait.
Who is-